The head of Nigeria's space agency has some big aspirations for Nigeria's future in space.
The journey into space is an unknown journey, but now we know our destination. And the generation with its teeth should know that they have the mass to colonize and to live in mass. We have the young generation who are coming who is going to dress and live their life like aliens on Mars, because we are determined to conquer Mars and then utilize Moon and explore some asteroids for the benefit of mankind.
Live like aliens? Conquer Mars? It's either this man has seen too many Star Wars movies or he's just a man with outsized dreams. But then again, given the pace of technological advancements that is taking place in space exploration around the world, he might be closer to reality than we think. Since Russian astronaut Yuri Gagarin first went to space in 1961, humanity has only become more obsessed with the vast emptiness above us. It has become so competitive that what started as a race between two countries has now expanded to more countries and even private companies, all of them launching everything imaginable into the emptiness above our heads. A chimpanzee, a whole box of pizza, a Tesla Roadster, and even pop star Katy Perry. If you're Nigerian like me, you're probably wondering, how involved is Nigeria in this space race? What have we done so far? And what do we hope to do in the near future? I was wondering too. So I packed my bags, flew to Abuja to attend the Africa Space Economic Conference 2025 to meet with the people who are working to make Nigeria a big space player and learn more about how they plan to do this. It's been 64 years since the Russians sent the first human into space. Since then, private companies are even exploring luxury tourism for the ultra-rich. Yet, Nigeria still has so much to figure out. So, why even bother at this point?
You might think we are late. We are not late. It's not about being the first. It's about reaping the benefits. And we have a lot of benefits to reap from this race, from surveillance, precision agriculture, emergency response to unexpected disasters. So there are so many things we can gain from it, and it's going to help our development in science and technology as well. You know, we can't fold our arms and think others will solve our problems. We have to wake up our own ideas and solve our own problems. So it's not too late at all.
Not too late? Interesting. So, at the moment, what are we doing?
Well, recently the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must have has just approved 4 satellites for this year 2025, of which very soon as fund is released, the agency will commence the implementation to ensure that this satellite comes to life.
Are we building it locally?
Yeah, we have engineers, scientists that have been trained outside the country that can have that capacity to build the indigenous satellites.
Now, this gets even more interesting. Not only do we plan on launching 4 more satellites this year, but they will be developed locally. At least that's the plan. So I figured we'll speak to the people behind this big man, the actual rocket scientists.
We are into rocketry.
Okay.
And normally, people will used to say that it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
But what we do over there is actually rocket science. So that means that it's a very complex technology. But notwithstanding, based on the technology, based on the support we have really gotten from the federal government, they've been able to train so many of us locally and abroad. And then we have actually come back to the country to actually give what we have actually learned over there to actually showcase what we think we can do for our country.
Great. We are launching satellites. But how about humans?
So many things we're going to do. And in terms of our technology development is on the way. But notwithstanding, because the technology is something that is absolutely very complex and it is capital intensive, so we believe that we need to collaborate with so many other foreign countries that are actually face-faring countries, okay, in such a way that, for instance, I know that maybe before the end of the year, for instance, which of course my DJ has actually been talking about, that definitely we are going to post somebody in space. So but then it's not going to be maybe some orbiter.
I wanted to ask something else, right? Because I don't know if you know Katy Perry. She's like one of the world's biggest pop stars.
Yes.
Jeff Bezos sent her.
Yes, of course. On Blue Origin. Just about maybe 2 months ago.
So who do you think, when we launch our own, right? Who do you think will be the first person to go to space, a man or a woman?
The point is this: the one that is coming very soon right now. Okay. Of course, because we don't have that capability right now, we need to rely on probably Blue Origin or some of those. Some of those other spaces. So, but for now, we are going to do collaboration with them, and that is just like the one that the person that you mentioned went to space, through Blue Origin. That is exactly what I think we are likely to do.
So, man or woman?
You have to I will not. I will surely. It is open. It is open to. It is open to everybody. Okay, it could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be a boy. The point is, we want a Nigerian to actually, have a kind of blueprint in space, and that is actually the actual thing that.
He may have evaded the question about the first Nigerian to be in space, but of course you can answer. Let me know in the comment section whom you think will be the first Nigerian in space, a man or a woman. And whenever that happens, we will revisit the results of this poll. It will run until we send someone to space, however long it takes. At this point though, I should also state that there's been a Nigerian in space. His name is Owolabi Salis. He is a US-based lawyer, but he was on a 10-minute luxury trip aboard the Blue Origin spacecraft. In this context, I am asking for a Nigerian who started the journey to space from the Nigerian airspace and has their whole trip sponsored by the Nigerian government. But our rocket scientists did make some interesting points about collaboration, because we clearly cannot do it alone. Back here in Nigeria, what collaborations currently exist between the government and private players, and what forms do these collaborations currently take?
I'm sure you know satellite comes under defense too, because with the kind of issues we are having in the country today, with satellites, a lot of these things will be solved perfectly. You can preempt a lot of things, and we can mobilize even before the enemy attacks.
Right. While we wait for the government to launch humans into space, we are already working with private companies to deploy satellites for several purposes, like detecting illegal mining activities.
So there is a specific band that is called short-wave infrared. Okay. It's called SWIR. Okay. And because of its wavelength, it's really small wavelength, and the ability to capture it, we can capture the reflectance of illegal mining and places where the illegal mining is taken off. We can also take a look. So, for example, in Ghana, we know that there is a lot of illegal mining, and the water gets polluted, so we can detect that pollution, where it's come from, then we can zoom in and see that illegal mining is the reason of that water pollution, for example.
Interesting. We also deploy them for security purposes, and perhaps this is one that interested me, as you can see.
Satellites, what they do, satellites can do a lot of things. Actually, when you have AI installed in the satellite, you can do a lot of things. Actually, when it comes to defense, you can solve 75% of the defense challenges we have with satellites.
Okay, let's do it like this, yeah? Give us a scenario. This is Abuja. We are here in Lupe, right? And we've heard of something happening
before you even hear of anything happening,
so
the satellites.
How does that work?
Before you even hear of something happening, the satellites you would have got a lot of data from the satellites going around your orbit. you would have seen all these things about to happen.
Yeah.
You would have taken those data, you would have given the relevant security agencies.
Yeah.
The relevant security agencies would have moved ahead and they would have been able to repel the enemy.
The government has its own drone developers. Who knew?
What exactly?
Okay, so basically what you're looking at is we have a long endurance drone, which we named the Nigerian Eagle X.
Okay.
Well, sorry, I didn't introduce. This is the Advanced Unmanned Area Vehicle Laboratory,
Okay.
one of the laboratories for the National Space Research and Development Agency. So basically what we do, we develop drone technology. And when we say drone, we don't just do the area vehicles. You know, the areas like the atmosphere. We also do submersible, that's underwater.
Yeah.
And we also do ground vehicles, mobile ground vehicles. So, but basically, these are what we have done so far. We do
When
flying
you say
drones.
done so far,
Yeah, we
there's
still have a lot
real
of.
version of this, or is this just all
No,
we have in
no. These are real, these are flying models.
Okay.
These are actual flying
This
models. These are not
works.
just. Yeah, it works.
This is not just like plastic, like
Yeah.
start to stop and
And Nat, could you please put the video of this guy? Yeah, put it up, please. So these are actual flying models, and they actual. They do flying. They do missions.
Okay.
This guy can go a range of 120 kilometers.
Okay, give me like distance. Lagos to
Like distance.
Abuja.
Okay, so there's this no-fly zone, right, for drones, and that's like 30 kilometers.
Yeah.
And 30 kilometers, like from the airport to the presidential villa.
Yeah, it's no fly.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't fly
like
anything.
you can't fly. So why this guy can go even further beyond? So it can go and can climb really high. So yeah, basically use it for surveillance, reconnaissance, and all of
Like
that.
a cameras on it.
Yeah, high
transmitters.
yeah, transmitters, high definition cameras and
Day and
stuff.
night.
Yeah, DVO, infrared, and
So there's like
multi-spectrum.
night vision on
Yeah.
this.
It is interesting that all these are taking place in the country. So I knew I had to speak with someone who could tell me more about the education that these nerds are receiving.
We teach them a lot about space and the operationality in space generally. We teach courses that have to do with space development and space technology development, assets, management, operations.
Do you teach us how to build rockets and go to space? 'Cause I mean,
Yes, yes. There's a course or more courses that you have to do if you are into that. We do courses that courses that will teach you how to build a rocket. We do courses that will teach you how to manufacture a rocket. We do courses that will teach you the physics of the operation of the takeoff and the maneuvering of a rocket.
Nerd alert! Nerd alert! They teach rocket science.
Yes, rocket science.
So you're like a big nerd.
Well, we don't like saying that to ourselves because we have been doing it for so long. We think it's just simple, but a lot of people say
It's not light work.
it's not rocket science.
It's not rocket science.
So
It's just Tuesday.
just like understanding the principles that governs any certain thing and you operate by that.
Yeah.
That's it. Just like somebody's telling you this earth we are standing on is like a ball and it's just moving. I am wondering how.
Get a load of Albert Einstein over here.
Yes. yes. In fact, that guy built most of the foundational theories that we use in what we do.
Great. So if anyone is interested and they want to apply, how do they come to your school? What do they have to do?
Well, as it is, the Institute of Space Science and Engineering is affiliated, though owned by NASA, it's affiliated to African University of Science and Technology. Because currently we are not independently licensed to award degrees. We do postgraduate programs, masters and PhD for now. But the degree awarding body or institution is the African University of Science and Technology. So the application also goes through them.
Yeah.
So if you want to apply, you go to the website of the African University of Science and Technology.
Yeah.
You will see the courses under the institute. Right now we have four programs, and then you're able to take any of them. The application comes back, fill the form online, pay the application fee, and bam, you are in.
The lessons are here in Nigeria.
Yes, all lessons are here in Nigeria.
Now that you know you can get into space technology in Nigeria, let me know if this is something you'd be interested in. Will you consider applying? If you're familiar with the business environment in Nigeria, you already know that sometimes these collaborations between government and private entities are not completely seamless. However, there is an office within the National Space Development and Research Agency that says it wants to do things differently.
Are you a friendly regulator?
I am.
How friendly are you?
How friendly we are is that we don't, you don't kill an ant with a sledgehammer. You do it softly so that you catch their attention.
Yeah.
Because if you are not friendly, you chase them away. But there's a way you attract them by making yourself friendly to them.
All right.
So that's what we do.
Thank you.
If you've come this far on this journey with me, I'm sure you're wondering what this space journey is costing us.
I wouldn't want to disclose that because to be honest, there are several processes for satellites. Like what we do, if you have to procure outright, it's a different ball game. But basically, what we have been doing as NASDAQ is not outright acquisition. We actually enter into some kind of agreement with satellite producers.
Let me rephrase it. How much, on the average, does it cost to build a satellite?
It's actually in billions. Billions of naira. It's actually in billions of naira. I would not want to, because there are various kinds of satellites. Communication satellite, there are satellites, there are all kinds of satellites, but there is none that you can acquire or build that are not in billions of naira.
So, it's expensive. That explains headlines like this whenever rocket launches fail anywhere in the world. Which brings me to ask, what happened to the satellites that we launched into space a while ago that elicited headlines like this?
HComSat 1 deorbited. Now what happened was the battery, the solar panel that was powering one of the panels actually developed a fault, and so it failed. Now that happens everywhere. Remember, if you are buying a car, you see where they say some part of the car failed and then they are recalling it. Now that was what happened to it. But luckily, Nigeria never lost anything because it was 100% insured, and that's why we now have HComSat 1 arm replacement. So we never lost anything. And it is normal in every business of technology that you put something there and it can fail. It's not anything that is peculiar to Nigeria or that has never happened anywhere else in the world.
So, we've spent some time learning about our space agency and the people driving our ambition. But many Nigerians are still not convinced that we should be engaging in this race. The head of the space agency in Nigeria, however, doesn't think so.
Some of our existential challenges in Nigeria, on the African continent, is because we always play catch-up. The innovative idea from the space science and technology has put all these things to rest. Right now we are mining and we are exploring the uninterrupted power supply from the space. There are satellites that will be beaming, just like the way we have the Wi-Fi, you get the signal from your phone. We'll be having electricity transmitting to your handset without using the cables. So when you come to the space agency, come and see our space museum. Come and see some of the work that Nigerians have done. And you'll be proud to be a Nigerian because this agency is proud to say that we developed the first made by African satellite. Model of that satellite is in our space museum. And there are so many other innovative ideas. When they come, they will see the stages of our rocketry program, how we started with some fundraise and then some component. Right now, we've mastered the lift-off, our satellite or rocket rather, doesn't blow up anymore.
I wonder if that looks like progress enough for you to lean into your curiosity about Nigeria's space journey, or if a little more awareness is needed.
It is necessary for Nigerians to know that the National Space Research and Development Agency is a very strategic establishment, that is established, to anchor the Nigerian space program. You recall, or agree with me, that everything about development across the globe today revolve around space science and technology. So, for example, we use telephone on daily basis. So you should know that this telephone is connected to is using a particular communication satellite in the orbit.
Yeah.
That is space technology. So there is nothing we do today that does not have space connotation. So an institution like the National Space Research and Development Agency is an important one for development in our country.
There is so much to learn about Nigeria's space journey. In fact, I took the DG to his word and visited the National Space Museum to learn about our space history. You can see that in another video. But here's what I have to say. It might not look like much today, but I'm convinced that someday we will go to the moon.